Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Stupid Question of the Day's very, very first audio blog. A little experiment of mine because, I've got some spare time. Might as well use it for something that's entertaining. Don't think I can really call this productive, but trying something a little new today, so you'll have to let me know if you like it. Really, I encourage feedback after this. Honest feedback, please. Don't try to humor me if this is just excruciatingly boring or stupid or, if you're just not entertained by it, let me know and I will never do this again. This really was kind of a lot of work, actually, so unless you really like it, it may be the end of the line anyway. So, a little bit about how this came about. I was sitting down in front of the computer the night that I actually posted the question from someone else on Yahoo. I had come up with a few thoughts for the day, just in lieu of a question, and sat down to type them, and I'm like, man, I have a lot of thoughts. And I was looking at the keyboard, and I'm like, really, do I have to type all this? I mean, do people really care that much to... Well, yes, of course you care, but I just really didn't want to type all that, and I thought, you know what? What if I recorded my thoughts and then posted them in a YouTube video? Maybe dressed up the YouTube video a little. That would be great. That would be easy. That would be much more entertaining to me than sitting here checking for all my typos and going through it 4 or 5 times to make sure it was coherent. So, today, I have my thoughts for the week for you in audio form. So, sit back and listen, and we're going to get going here. I'm constantly amazed at how musical acts with questionable vocalists can be so successful. There are many examples of this. Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins is one of the most famous, I guess. If we're being really honest with ourselves, the man is just not a good singer. If Billy Corgan walks into an American Idol audition and rattles off a live version of Bullet with butterfly wings, he gets no's across the board, and Simon Cowell personally throws him out of the highest window in the building. And the list really goes on. Bon Scott and Brian Johnson of AC/DC, Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses, Neil Young. All these guys, they're not bad singers necessarily, but I could see how they could annoy people after a while. The key is that all these unique voices go well with the kind of music they accompany. But for the life of me, the one I will never understand as long as I roam this earth is the world's fascination with Mr. Bob Dylan. How can you even call what he does singing? It's terrible. Like a Rolling Stone is considered one of the greatest songs ever written, but I can't bring myself to listen to it because Bob Dylan's singing sounds like a cross between a wounded man trying to utter his last words and that noise you get when you accidentally call a fax machine. Yeah, did you hear that? And really, the man's only gotten worse with time. Listen to this.
Look out your window. The grass ain't green. It's kinda yellow. See what I mean?
What the heck is that? Who is the coward telling him, yeah, Mr. Dylan, that was a great take, because he should be fired and then hit by a bread truck? And the man just released a new album. Who's buying this crap? The thing I always hear and read on these websites and stuff is, well, he's one of the greatest lyricists of all time. I'm not disagreeing with that. He may be. But that will go largely unnoticed if people are distracted by the hideous wailing emerging from their speakers. Now, on the other side of things, Ben Gibbard, great lyricist. And guess what? The man can sing. He could sing excerpts from Great Expectations and it would sell millions of copies. Bob Dylan sings Great Expectations, and you've found the only way to make that godforsaken piece of literature worse than it already is. So Bob, if you're listening, and I know you are, a little advice. If you want to keep writing, great. Go ahead. But pass the torch to someone else for the singing. While we're on the subject of music here, I think I'll touch on something else. Apparently the hip thing to do these days, if you have even a toe in the public spotlight, is to sue Coldplay. You may know that the band was recently sued by guitarist Joe Satriani, who claimed that Coldplay plagiarized the melody to his song If I Could Fly in their stupidly popular single Viva La Vida. Personally, I hope they lose, and I think they should. The resemblance between the two songs is uncanny, really. And if they don't lose that one, I'm confident that they will be charged in the theft of the Best Rock Album Grammy from Metallica. I'm still a little bitter about that. I mean, really, just listen to this. That, friends, is rock. It's empowering. Now, this.
So you know how much I need you, but you never even see me.
That is one step above elevator music. It's just kind of ridiculous. I just... Excuse me, I need a moment. Okay, I'm good. Now, the most recent plagiarism claim against Coldplay comes from singer-songwriter Cat Stevens, or Yusuf Islam, as he is now called. Cat is claiming that Viva La Vida sounds a little too much like his song Foreigner Suite. Now, it should be pretty clear to you by now that I am slightly biased against those thieving jerks in Coldplay. But I have to set my hatred aside for them on this one because this is just stupid. There may be slight similarities, I don't know, but definitely not enough to justify a lawsuit. Give a listen. I don't hear it. So, congratulations, Coldplay. You have my support on this one. Oh, and an aside note here. I'll admit before now that I'd never seen Cat Stevens or even heard his music. But I, had heard the name. And with that name, Cat Stevens, I always pictured somebody kind of like the Fonz. A cool cat, so to speak. I apologize for that pun. What I did not picture was Osama bin Laden's less evil, more talented cousin.